Hey y'all, this is Kobe R. Rice, and I'm back again, but not for a weekly creative update, but for a really awesome, amazing piece of news. I'm just gonna put this in the screen so you guys can totally just enjoy what's happening here. So, I am a huge fan of the YouTuber Chrissie, and she is a really wonderful, very woke, in a very progressive way that basically has her very tuned into the actual day-to-day issues of not only black women but dark-skinned black women. And before you guys get out there and get all in your feelings and ask about what about team light skin, no shade to team light skin at all, but she has created this amazing magazine and I just wanted to share this with you. And first of all, I want to say thank you so much, Chrissy. When I first heard that the magazine was coming out, I immediately did my pre-order for digital and for my own personalized copy, and I'm so excited. And I just want to do like a quick, I'm not going to show you guys all the contents of the inside of the magazine. If you want to get your own copy of Divine Dark Skin, okay, look at this beautiful chocolate right here. I love it. She's so gorgeous. But if you want to get your own copy and just experience the amazingness of this magazine on your own, make sure that you go and basically order it on her website. It's divinedarkskin.com, I believe. If that's wrong, sorry if it is, I'll put the actual link to her website below so you guys can also go and pick up your own copy either digitally or in print format. And I believe she's going to be releasing 4 magazines per year. But in this particular magazine, basically, look at this. I'm just going to show you. I'm just going to open up this first part. I mean, this is just something. I'm just going to let you guys get a view of that. All of that beauty is something that we rarely see in the printed format of a magazine or in the fashion industry. The whole movement is about celebrating the beauty of dark skin because we don't get this kind of media presence. We don't get this kind of airtime as dark skinned women. Oftentimes, when we talk about black beauty, a lot of the image of black women or dark skinned women is essentially sort of replaced and subverted by images of black women that are more palatable, I'm using that with air quotes, to the larger mainstream audience. So you'll have black women in mainstream media who are lighter skinned, who have longer hair, who have a looser hair texture. And that's all well and good. And that has really helped to uplift and build esteem in women who look like that. But for women who look like me, who are very dark skinned, who have 4C hair, I have my bonnet on today, so you guys can't see it. But, you know, I can put some pictures in the video just to like let you guys know what my actual hair looks like. I had this huge afro, usually wear it out in afro puffs, and I love it. You don't really see those images reflected in the larger society as the standards of beauty. And for me, those are my standards of beauty. I'm not out here trying to look like Beyonce. I'm not out here trying to be the next Zendaya. Like, that's not really, those are not the images I look towards for the standard of beauty that fits my phenotype. Okay, so people who are more in my wavelength are like people like Lupita Nyong'o, Gabrielle Union, those kinds of women who are darker skinned, Kelly Rowland, obviously, all those different kinds of women are sort of more on my end of the spectrum and who I personally look to see what they're doing in terms of their makeup or their style or their hair. And everybody deserves a role model. And I definitely really appreciate Chrissy trying to put more of those role models out there that represent just classy versions and classy images of women with dark skin. And that's really all I have to say about that. I am so excited. The images in this magazine are amazing. They're gorgeous. The actual articles in the magazine, I'm just going to read you guys a couple of the titles, not the actual articles. But again, if you want to read it, you have to go check it out on your own, okay? There was one in particular I wanted to check out. Leveling Up, a New Awakening for Black Women. Okay, I love that. Finally Getting Real About Colorism. And of course, the power of femininity. That's a really hard word for me to say because I have my Invisalign in today. So just bear with me. dark-skinned women struggle with exclusivity and competition. Okay, this is a big one because basically whenever we try to do something to uplift our own image and to celebrate and love on our own image, because we have to do it because really nobody else out here is doing that. Whenever we do those things, we're often accused of being exclusionary or exclusive. And that is causing a lot of people to be really mad, unfortunately. And I'm sorry, but you guys are going to have to like stay mad. And this is something that I'm saying as the mother of a biracial child. So if you think I'm on here just trying to hate on, biracial women or, light-skinned black women or what have you, I am not, okay? I love my daughter more than I love most of y'all, okay? No offense. Love my, followers or whatever, but she is my world. But even so, I realize that there is a difference in how she is going to be perceived and treated by the outside world. Her being light-skinned, having, longer sort of curly hair with a looser texture. She is going to be treated in a different way, and she's going to have a different set of role models to which she can look in order to help her to see herself reflected in the world and help her to understand, her potential to be feminine, her potential to be fashionable, her potential to be, successful and to date up. And, anything that we deem important as women, she has all of those role models out there for her across a wide spectrum, okay? And lots of different women who look like her, who are doing many different things. I, on the other hand, and women who look like me, we have a very limited spectrum of representation with regard to the potential, okay, of dark-skinned women. Right now, we have some really, key people who are featured in Hollywood who are dark-skinned women. But a lot of what we see out in the world that is connected to darker skinned women is not necessarily positive. And this particular magazine is really helping to expand one's definition of what it means to be a dark-skinned woman. It also allows us to see ourselves in a more feminine light. We've got the feminist light down pat, okay? We've got that perspective on point. But now it's time to start cultivating the other end of the spectrum, or, wider circles of influence when it comes to our potential as women. Okay. We are women. We are soft. We are beautiful. We are emotional. We are curvy. We harness the power of the yin. And some of us are more feminine. Some of us are more, masculine. Some of us have a nice balance and we know how to engage with both in certain environments, but not all of us have that ability to activate that engagement in different circumstances, okay? And what this magazine is helping us to do is to step away from the tropes that we are inculcated with and allow us to identify differently. We already know how to be the strong black women. Now let's figure out how to be strong, but from a feminine perspective, because there is strength in femininity, okay? Again, I can't pronounce that word with this thing in my mouth, but you guys know what I mean. How to be centered in your feminine and use that to your advantage, okay? And if you guys have a sort of issues with that, please just look to history. Cleopatra is the ultimate example of basically somebody being the most badass woman on the planet, spoke multiple languages. And actually, she's not the best example in terms of dark-skinned women because she technically is Egyptian, and she specifically was ruling during the Ptolemaic Egyptian dynasty. That's a whole different history lesson, for later. But she is not a representation of like dark-skinned women per se, but she is often associated with the conversations around black people, right? Whether or not she was black. So I'm going to use her as an example because she was actually one of the biggest, most intelligent, most cosmopolitan, sexy, and not because she was physically pretty. She actually looked busted, but we'll get to that in a second. But she was very sexy, very alluring, very, very feminine. But she also was, just sharply and dangerously intelligent. Like I said, multilingual, basically assassinated, I would say, 3 members of her own family in order to maintain power. And I'm not saying we should assassinate people, but I'm just saying she was very politically competitive, very intense, very savvy. Okay. And not only was she able to rule her own country successfully, okay, which was not used to having a sole female ruler in Egypt, but she also was able to attract, seduce, and ally herself with 2 of the most powerful men ruling the Roman Empire, which at that time was the most powerful empire on the planet. So this is a woman who had the balance of the masculine in terms of being a leader and the feminine in terms of, being centered in her womanhood and in what God gave her. And she used those 2 things to her advantage. So my point is that Cleopatra essentially is where I would argue most darker skinned Black women, we don't have the Cleopatra training, right? We don't have the training. We have the training about being badass, highly educated, very outspoken, very strong, very sharp and savvy. We have all that down pat, okay? The stats do not lie. But we need to cultivate the other side of what it means to be a woman. And I think actually a woman that can possess all those qualities and lead with her feminine at the same time while also having that sharp political mind, that is a woman who can literally rule the world and influence anybody she wants to influence. So I consider getting this magazine as a step in that direction, absolutely. And I love it. I am here for it. Oh, I said I was going to read you guys a couple more titles and then I'm going to go. This is a long review. Choosing the right college major and career. Okay, boss, Black, and female. Okay, so boss, Black, and female. All right, let's not lose that last part. And then your guide to money management. So, I only read a couple of the titles out here, but this is such an amazing magazine. I can't wait to just dive in and then get a copy also for the rest of my family members. Chrissy, thank you so much. I'm so excited that I decided to become a part of your subscriber base months and months ago. And I'm really excited to give a 5-star. I'm going to give it a 10-star out of 5-star review for Divine Dark Skin. Guys, go pick it up as soon as possible. If you can't get the print version, get the digital version and go get your life. Okay. Bye, guys. See you next time.